It is only 34 days to the date of my half marathon, so come with me for another week of the half marathon training. Now, one thing which I've noticed a feature on Strava is that every week for your mileage, as well as showing that, it also shows the amount of elevation which you do for that week. Now, the half marathon which I will be doing at Ipswich Half Marathon is very hilly, and therefore this new feature will allow me to see the amount of elevation which I do every week. This feature will definitely be very handy for me, and as I've just discovered it, I'm going to set myself a challenge. For this week, I aim to in total have on my runs to have a combined total of 1000 meters of elevation. This means that I want the elevation gain from all of my runs from this week to add up to combine to be a total of at least 1000 meters of elevation. Now, last week I was on holiday in the Peak District, so now I do respect Ipswich and the area of Suffolk to be relatively flat, comparing it to the Peak District. And now, because I am back in Suffolk, that means that I will be back in a relatively flat area. So this is going to be quite a challenge to see if I can reach my goal of 1000 meters elevation in 1 week or not. So if you think I can hit my goal, then please do consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, based off what I've just said, this is going to be slightly ironic because this evening for my Jaffa session is a 5-mile time trial going around the village of Rushmere, which is basically the roads which I normally run on every day. Now, this 5-mile, I'm not going to treat it like a race, I'm going to treat it like a training run, a time trial, where I'm trying to keep to a consistent pace for the whole 5-mile. This will be good training because I'll be going at a continuous effort, being able to build up my mental resilience and also my aerobic endurance. Now, what is ironic about this course is that for once I actually want some hills, and the 5-mile, this course, it is completely flat. There is not one hill whatsoever, trust me, I run down these roads every day, and this is the ideal course for a PB. So for once, when I'm actually wanting to have a hill or two, this course is completely flat, but oh well, it is what it is, so hopefully we can go for a good time though. Pre-5-mile meal, and we've got some mince with some rice to get the energy in through the carbs and the protein. So the shoe which I'll be running in for tonight's 5-mile will be the Nike Vaporfly 3, a very good shoe with the carbon plate in the midsole. It is super bouncy. Alright, we have made it home from the Jaffa 5-mile, and I'm very happy to say I have a new 5-mile PB, a massive PB by around 30 seconds. On the watch, I got a time of 28 minutes and 7 seconds. The official time will be on the screen. I'm so happy with my effort tonight because I felt very good, and I'm pleased with how I paced the race as well, because usually I go out at around the same pace. 3:24 is what we had on the watch for the first kilometre today. That's usually what happens in a 5-mile race, and then I drop the pace quite significantly. But today we managed to stick on and hold a very consistent splits, and I'm very happy with those splits indeed. And overall, I felt very strong, and I managed to hold on for the PB. So yeah, I felt very strong in that 5-mile race. So yeah, I'm very positive with tonight's result. I also ran my third fastest 5k ever during that 5-mile, and that is an indication to how well tonight's run went. So yeah, overall I'm very happy with the PB tonight, and it gives me a lot of confidence going forwards to feel that strong whilst going on a continuous effort. Also, a quick thank you to all the Jaffers who are out there tonight to make this such a brilliant event, because it really was such a great atmosphere out there tonight, so thank you very much to all those who were involved. Now, if you had watched last week's video, you would know that by this point, yesterday I had the Jaffa 5 mile, Sunday I had a half marathon long run, Saturday I had a hard effort park run, and Friday I had a session in Bakewell. So therefore, by Tuesday, after 4 consecutive days in a row at hard effort, today was going to be the priority of recovery. Currently I'm suffering from some very bad blisters, so therefore I wanted to go for some active recovery whilst not aggravating the blisters further. And the perfect way of recovering your legs whilst not putting stress on your feet is by going for a cycle ride. This therefore means that cycling is an excellent option for cross training for me, and overall is great for my recovery. And in total this afternoon I cycled 25 kilometers. As you saw yesterday, we had only 26 meters of elevation, so today we've got some making up to do. So originally tonight I was looking on the roads, designing a route, but I could only find a route which had a maximum of 70 meters elevation. And well, if every run had a 70 meter elevation, well, I wouldn't match my target which I set out at the start of the video. But that's when I had a brilliant idea. Instead of going on the roads, I would go on the trails, specifically the Finn Valley trails. If you don't know, the Finn Valley trails, they have quite a few hills, and this will definitely bring the number of my elevation quite high up. The trails also fit pretty well for the purpose of my run, because tonight it is going to be a nice and easy run. This fits well with the purpose of my run because the trails, it is a softer surface, meaning there is less stress on the joints compared to hard surface such as the concrete, and therefore this is better for recovery. So I will see you after the run.
2,000 years later.
Alright guys, so we got the run done. In total we've done 12 kilometers. The Strava is on the screen, and tonight we kept a nice and relaxed pace. And as you can see by the splits, we did let the splits go all over the place. We didn't try and keep consistent splits, but I feel it doesn't really matter because for one, we are going at a nice and relaxed pace, so we don't really need to be bothered about the splits. And secondly, there are so many hills that you can't really try and keep consistent splits with that many hills. I mean, that run was tough because you get up one hill, you recover, and then you have to go up another, which is quite challenging. But having said that, I did feel pretty good. The main thing is the legs, they felt pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how tonight's run went. I may have slightly underestimated how hard this challenge is going to be, because we did in total on this run 200 meters of elevation, which means we still have just under 800 meters of elevation to go. But nevertheless, this challenge, it will be tough, and I will give it my best shot and try and be as disciplined as possible. And going up all these hills, it will pay off, because when we get to the half marathon, then I should be a pro of going up these hills, hopefully. This morning we were starting things off with some weight training. For this session, the weights which I was using were these 4kg dumbbells. Every single week I aim to do at least one weight session. Now naturally I have a very weak upper body, and you may wonder, why would a runner train their upper body for? First of all, by strengthening my upper body, this would enable my posture to be better whilst running. This will prevent slouching and enable my running form to be more efficient, meaning I have to use less energy, meaning I will fatigue less quickly. And I can tell you now, being more energy efficient will definitely be crucial for the half marathon. Also, in your running form there is a direct correlation between arm drive and cadence. So pretty much by strengthening my upper body, this allows me to run with a better form and be more energy efficient. And also by maintaining a correct running form, this will reduce the likelihood of an injury. So therefore there is many benefits to my running progress by doing a weight session targeting my upper body. Alright everybody, so today is a Wednesday, and if you've been watching this series, you would know that Wednesday has been the day when I've been doing my hill session. So for tonight's session, I plan on going back to Christchurch Park, a park which I have done a hill session before, and well, in the centre of the park, there is one massive hill, and for tonight's session, the session will be based around that hill. So I will see you after the session. Alright guys, Strava is on the screen, and in total, the 2 km warm up and the 5 km warm down coming home, and the session itself being 9k, we did 16k in total this evening. Now that was an absolute hill of a session. So the details, we started off with 2 5-minute continuous efforts, going up the hill, going back down in a circular loop, and we did that for 5 minutes at a continuous effort, which was quite hard, and I did 2 of those, and this was pretty good at developing my mental endurance and also being able to go up the hill and also maintain the pace after the hill. So that was very good training for the half marathon. Next up, getting into the real business end of the session, we did 20 hill sprints. So we went up the hill sprinting and then back down recovery. And now this hill at Christchurch Park, in about 200 meters, I would say, is about 20 meters of elevation. And I can tell you now, that is extremely steep. And after you've done 20 of them, well, I'll tell you now, I was sprinting the first rep, but by the time we got to the 20th, I think I would say I was more like crawling up that hill. But I mean, overall, I'm very happy that we got that session done. I also got a crown, which shows you how hard I worked, and it shows you the work has paid off. And these hill sessions, this is what's going to be the difference between if I can get my target goal or not. Because when we get to that hill at Preston Hill, we'll be about halfway through the course. We'll be tired, and it's about getting up that hill and maintaining the pace afterwards. So these hill sessions will 100% help in helping me conquer the Preston Hill. Also, a staggering 370 meters of elevation has been produced from the 2 runs I've done this evening combined. And well, that takes a large chunk out of the 1,000-meter goal which I set for this week. And if I've got my maths correct, I think we should be around the 400-meter mark now. I'm pretty sure it is that. I might have got the maths wrong, but that is a very good chunk taken out, which only leaves 400 meters left. So I think getting this challenge done, it does seem doable now, because that was the 3rd run for this week, and in total we will have 6 runs. So we're halfway through the runs and having less than half of the target left. I can see myself reaching my target goal, which is very positive news. It is officially just a month to the date of my half marathon, which is crazy to say. But this morning we went for some cycling to Martlesham and back, which accumulated to just over 12 kilometers of cycling, which is some very good cross training. So today is a Thursday, which would mean that it'd normally be an easy run, but due to a very bad blister which is formed on the inside of my right toe, I've decided today to be sensible and to give my foot a rest, and instead use today as my rest day and shift around the purposes of my runs, and actually tomorrow make that my easy run, when instead it should have been my rest day. So basically we're just shifting around Thursday and Friday to make Thursday my rest day today, and tomorrow Friday I will do my easy run. Alright guys, so it's Friday morning, and as promised today we're doing our easy run. Now to be honest with you, I don't really like doing my easy runs the second I wake up, because my legs, they don't really feel like they're awake yet, but we do have quite a busy day scheduled today, so therefore the early morning is the only time when I can fit the run in. This morning we will be heading back to the Finn Valley because we need to be able to do the last 400 meters of our elevation by the end of the week, and I reckon on today's run we could probably get a good 200 meters ticked off. So that being said, I will see you after the run. Alright guys, so we are back from the run now. Strava is on the screen and we did 12k in total. Now this may have not been the fastest run I've did, but that is because if you see the elevation, then I did 236 meters of elevation on today's run, which quite frankly, I didn't expect the number to be that high. Now today, it was a nice and relaxed run, nice and easy to recover the legs, and for this elevation to be this high, basically, there's a loop around the Finn Valley where you go up, and there's a hill which is very steep. It's about 20 meters of elevation in about 200 meters, which is pretty steep. And I kept on looping around the loop, and in total, this is the number of times I went up that hill. I forgot count. I can't remember how many times we got out. That's how many times I went up that hill. So in total, I believe the elevation number left to go is just under 200 meters now, which I reckon we should theoretically be able to easily do, taking in we still have 2 runs left for this week. So yeah, I'm very happy with today's run. And now I'm going to go and do some stretching. I don't always tell you and I don't always show you on screen, but always do your stretchings before runs and after runs. That's if you don't want to get injured anyway. This morning we went to see the Clacton Air Show, which required a lot of walking along the promenade and on the beach. In total we walked just shy of 7 kilometers, which is some very good active recovery. Just like yesterday's run, today we will be returning to somewhere where we've already ran this week. And what I am talking about is Christchurch Park, because today is a Saturday, and you would know by now that Saturday for me is parkrun day. And today we're doing the Christchurch Park parkrun. So at this point of the half marathon training vlog, I want to save more energy for tomorrow's long run. So at the parkrun today, we're going to do it at more of a tempo effort, trying to stick to just below the half marathon pace, and then we're going to strategically place this run, and when we get to the hills, that's where we're going to try and do a bit of a surge, and yeah, we're going to try and surge on the hills and keep things at tempo effort on the rest of the run. So I'll see you after the parkrun. Alright guys, so we're back from the Christchurch parkrun now. The Strava is on the screen, and well, today we paced ourselves pretty well. I think the hill training in the week has definitely worked out well, because somehow we have came through for a PB for the course, and I was going at what I felt was a tempo pace. So as you can see from the splits, we started off fairly easy, and then when we got to the hills, that's where I surged. So we were going nice in tempo, we got to the hills, we put a bit of surge in there, and overall, I am very happy with that time. Just over 19 minutes on the watch. So yeah, for the course, with those hills, 87 meters of elevation, I'm very pleased with that time. Also, the way I paced the run, how I still had energy at the end to give it everything I've got on the final kilometer, I was very pleased with that. So the pacing, the run, and also going up the hills, having the energy to maintain the pace afterwards, I'm very pleased with how strong I felt in today's run. During the warm-ups and the cool-downs, I did go up a few more hills, and that has officially brought me over the 1,000 meter mark for this week, which I'm very happy to say. With a day left spare as well to hit the 1,000 meter mark, I'm now on 1,013 meters by the end of today. So to be able to hit that, I've done my target, so I'm very happy. I'm definitely very pleased though that I'm not trying to do 1,000 meters of elevation every week though. Alright guys, so it is Sunday, which means that we have today's long run scheduled. Now last week we did the half marathon distance, which means that this week we will be increasing the mileage by just the 1 more kilometer, and today we will be doing 22 kilometers. It's a good thing that we've already done the 1,000 meters of elevation, because I do not want to be doing too many hills today. Having said that, we will have some hills in there, but at least I don't have to prioritize the route on getting the hills in. So with that being said, I will see you after the run.
6.5 hours later.
Strava is on the screen, and so is the splits. And I'll tell you now, that was pretty tough. First half we did feel good. I'd say we were going at our normal pace, which we do at easy runs, so we're feeling pretty good. And then we got to about the 12th, 13th kilometer, and then I produced an absolutely massive stitch on my right side, and this forced me to slow down. And then the second half, I will admit, it was quite a bit of a struggle, that was, but we got the 22 kilometers done, only just because those final few kilometers I was not feeling great. But I feel like the main reason for this is that I only had 4 custard creams and a cup of water fueling before the long run, and well, quite frankly, that isn't going to cut it. So I think in the future for next week's long run, I definitely need to prioritise my fueling, because come race day, I think I should be fine. All the other boxes I've ticked, hill training and getting the mileage in, but I just think it's fueling properly. That is now my focus for the future. I feel like I need to split my long run up, so halfway through we have a gel or something like that, because I know on race day there will be energy gel stations on the course. So I feel like I do need to prepare myself for that and maybe go for the experience of heaven and energy gel halfway through my long run. Now for the elevation challenge, I know we already hit the 1,000 meter mark, but after this long run we have added another 145 meters to our total. So that means overall this week I've done a whopping 1,158 meters of elevation. Now that is crazy, and I definitely won't be doing that next week, but this amount of hill training, hopefully it will come in useful come race day, because when we get to that Preston Hill about halfway through, I want to be able to get up that hill and also to be able to fly after the hill. So hopefully this week, this elevation challenge, it will pay off. Also for the mileage itself, it's been another week where we have increased our mileage, going in the positive direction, and this week we have done 86 kilometers, which is the highest amount of mileage I have ever done. So therefore it is extremely important that I prioritize my recovery, because now I'm going to do some stretching and kindly ask my brother if I can use his massage gun. So yeah, overall I am pretty happy with this week of training, and if you want to see how I get along with the half marathon and future weeks of training, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.